A very good morning to all of you. Today I am going to continue the next topic, that is pregnancy and the embryonic development. Now after the implantation, there leads to the pregnancy. Now we studied that in the implantation there is a trophoblast. Now the cells of trophoblast, they differentiate into inner and the outer layer. What happens first? The cells of the trophoblast differentiate into inner and outer layers. So the outer layer is called the chorion and it forms a chronic villi. Outer layer is called the chorion and it forms a chronic villi. These chronic villi are the finger-like projections that grows into the endometrium. So where they grows into the endometrium. After that, an intimate connection is established between the chronic villi and the uterus that forms the structural and the functional unit between the developing embryo, which is called, and the maternal body, which is called the placenta. So this chronic villi plus uterine tissue forms the placenta, that is the structural and functional unit between the developing embryo and the maternal body. Now what happens in the pregnancy? The trophoblasts that are in resulted case of the implantation, there are two layers of trophoblast. One is the inner layer, another one is the outer layer. The outer layer forms the chorion, that particularly forms the chronic villi, which is the finger-like projections that grows in the endometrium. After this, the chronic villi and the uterine tissue, they combine to form the structural and the functional unit between the developing embryo and the maternal body, which is known as a placenta. Now we will discuss the functions of the placenta. What are the functions of placenta? Now the very first function of the placenta is that it provides nutrients and oxygen to the developing embryo. It provides nutrition and oxygen to the developing embryo. Secondly, it removes the carbon dioxide and waste material from the embryo. Now the very second thing, it removes the carbon dioxide and waste material from the embryo body. And third thing, it acts as a endocrine tissue and produces several hormones that are essential to maintain the pregnancy. So act as endocrine tissue that produces hormones essential to maintain pregnancy. Now, which hormones are these? The very first one is the HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone. Another one is the HPL, that is human placental lactogen. It's HCG, where H and C are small, G is capital. Similarly, in HPL, H is small and PL is capital, and along with that estrogen, progesterone, etc. So, what are the functions of the placenta? It provides nutrition and oxygen to the developing embryo. It removes carbon dioxide and waste material from the body of the embryo. Okay. Then they act as the endocrine tissue that produces hormones which are essential to maintain the pregnancy. These hormones are HCG, HPL, estrogen and progesterone. Now, next is the umbilical cord that connects the placenta umbilical cord connects the placenta with the embryo that helps in the transport of substances to and from the embryo. Means जितना भी food है, nutrition है, जो embryo तक जाता है from the mother body, that is through the umbilical cord, and the things they get transported and the waste material gets out of. Next, the inner cell mass of the blastocyst develops into 3 layers. After this, the 3 layers of blastocyst develops. The first one is the outer layer, that is ectoderm. Next come the inner layer, that is endoderm, and middle layer, that is mesoderm. So, all these layers, they combine the inner cell mass of blastocysts and develop into the 3 layers. Now, this inner cell mass, they contain some cells that are called the stem cells. This inner cell mass contains some cells that is called the stem cell, and this stem cell has a potency to give rise to all the tissues and the organs. So, the inner cell mass, it is known as the some of its cells, they are called the stem cells, and this stem cell has a potency to give rise to the various tissues and the organs. Now, after that, the pregnancy is actually started. So, now we will see how the organs and the system develops in the particular month of the pregnancy. In the very first month, of pregnancy, the embryo heart is formed. First of all, the embryo's heart is formed. In the second month of pregnancy, the fetus start developing its limbs and digits. Second month, development of limbs and digit started. Then in the third month, by the end of the third month, most of the organ systems are formed. By the end of the third month, most of the organ systems are formed. Appearance by in the end of the fifth month, there is a appearance of hair on the head and fetus movement is observed. appearance of hair on head and fetus movement is observed. By the end of the 6th month, the body is covered with fine hair, comma, eyelids separated and eyelashes are formed. Eyelids are separated and eyelashes are formed. By the end of the 9th month, the fetus is completely developed for the delivery. Completely developed. So this is all about the topic, that is the pregnancy and the embryonic development. So let's recall it once again. The cells of the trophoblast, they are divided into two layers. One is the inner one, while the another one is the outer layer. The outer layer form the chorion and they form the chorionic villi, which are the finger-like projections that are grown into the layer of endometrium. After this, the chorionic villi and the uterine tissue, they combine to form a structure and the functional organ, that is the placenta, which is the link between the developing embryo and the maternal body. Next comes the functions of the placenta. The very first function is it provides nutrition and oxygen to the embryo. Then it removes the waste material and the carbon dioxide from the embryo. The third one is it acts as an endocrine tissue, which produces various hormones that are HCG, HPL, estrogen and the progesterone. After this, there is a thing that is the umbilical cord, which connects the embryo to the placenta, that helps in the transportation and the removal of the waste materials. After that, there is the inner cell mass of the blastocyst, which contains the three layers. First one is the outer one, that is ectoderm, inner one, that is endoderm, and the middle one, that is the mesoderm. After that, the inner cell mass is known as the stem cell, which is having the potency, means that is having the capability to form the tissues and the organs. After this, the process of the 9th month started, in which the very first month there is the development of the embryo heart. In the second month, there is the development of limbs and the digits. In the third month, the organ system starts developing. At the end of the 5th month, there is appearance of the hair on the head and the fetal movements are observed. In the end of the 6th month, fine hair, eyelids are separated and eyelashes are formed. And at the end of the 9th month, the completely developed fetus is there. So this is all about this topic. In the next topic, we will discuss about the parturition and lactation, that are the last topic of the chapter. Thank you, students. That's all for today's. Have a nice day.